Now let's talk youth development. As the world marks International Youth Day 2025, Nigeria has reaffirmed its commitment to empowering young people. At the inaugural Generation Unlimited Nigeria Board meeting in Abuja, Vice President Kashim Shettima, who chaired the session alongside UNICEF Nigeria's Wafa Saeed, said the country cannot afford to waste its youthful potential, with over 60% of Nigerians being under the age of 25. The GENU 9JA initiative, launched in 2021, aims to impact 20 million youth by 2030 through skills training, digital access, and job creation, a key part of the Renewed Hope agenda. UNICEF and other interest groups commended Nigeria's leadership, noting that more than 10 million young people have already benefited from GENU 9JA programs, including the Nigeria Learning Passport, Cisco Skills, and the Girl Child Education. Vice President Shettima highlighted the new Digital Access and Livelihoods Initiative as a talent pipeline for jobs and innovation, urging partners to fully implement it. To discuss more on the Generation Unlimited Nigeria to impact 20 million Nigerian youth by 2030, Kelvin Frey, who is the Chief Executive Officer, Generation Unlimited, joins me on World Now. Mr. Frey, this is an ambitious project. Walk us through the journey from 2021 up until now.
Well, it's been an extraordinary journey, and it was fantastic to be at State House earlier this week with Vice President Shettima chairing our board meeting to not only take stock of the results to date, the 10 million young people that we've already reached in Nigeria, but to set bold and audacious goals going forward. It's a critical moment for young people. As we heard earlier in the show, one of your earlier guests, geopolitically, the foundations of the world order are shaking. Technologically, we see AI fundamentally reshaping the future of work. The planet is facing an existential crisis, and there's a future with green jobs, but young people need the green skills and the technological skills to be able to move into the jobs not only of today, but also tomorrow.
All right, but then how are beneficiaries selected?
We work with many different partners, government ministries. We bring the private sector in because one of the problems with your typical training and educational system is they're preparing young people for the jobs of yesterday. We need to have dynamic feedback loops between the private sector, the demand side of the equation, and the supply side. So we work with private sector partners like IHS Towers, Airtel, Microsoft, Unilever to make sure these young people are getting the skills they need for the jobs of today and again of tomorrow. But also entrepreneurship is a huge piece of the puzzle. There are not going to be enough formal jobs for young people globally. Generation Unlimited has worked in over 100 countries since 2020, reaching 199 million young people. And I can tell you that a huge part of the future for young people will be entrepreneurial. Quick stat from the World Bank. Ajay Banga, just 2 months ago at our global board meeting, a very sobering number. 1.2 billion young people will enter the global workforce in the next 10 years, with 420 million jobs projected to be created. So we have to make sure young people have entrepreneurial mindsets, that they have access to capital so they can start their businesses to deliver dignified livelihoods to themselves and their families.
So Frey, how do you monitor effectiveness and efficiency afterwards? When these people graduate from these trainings, how do you keep tabs on them?
Very carefully, because our ultimate KPI has to be jobs and livelihoods. Ultimately, skills are a means to an end. Young people, and I got to meet so many of them this week and see some of the pictures up there, extraordinary, especially young women from across Nigeria, making huge investments of time and effort in getting their skills. But in fact, they're only doing this for one reason, so that they can get jobs and provide dignified livelihoods for themselves. And so we monitor this very closely. Our core KPI, again, is livelihoods. We don't achieve our mission until that young person gets a job. And that's the ultimate measurement. So we want to know that they finished the certification, but that is not good enough. After they finish the certification, we track them all the way to jobs.
I know you're targeting 2030, but is there the possibility of extending this project beyond then?
It's a great question. And our job really will never be done if you think back to that World Bank statistic of 1.2 billion young people over the next 10 years and only 420 million jobs. A couple other statistics. Sorry, I love statistics. By 2050, 1 in 3 young people in the world on the planet will be African. And I'm sure you know this. Nigeria is projected to be the third most populous country on the planet by 2050. So I think it's fair to say that the future is African. The future is going to be largely determined by young people here in Nigeria, and we have to make sure they're prepared. So I would answer your question by saying we cannot stop in 2030, but we need audacious goals and we need to hold ourselves to accomplishing them by 2030 and then absolutely moving forward from there.
All right, but let me get your honest feedback. When you interact with these young people, these young Nigerians, what crosses your mind about the potential of the Nigerian young person?
It's extraordinary. It was by far the best part of my week, especially meeting with these young women who are coding up sites. They're making apps. I saw one woman, she had a mobile phone open. She was teaching me all about it. She repairs mobile phones. She's opened her own shop. Here, actually, the picture you just showed were actually some disabled young people with sight and hearing problems, and they were able to introduce themselves to me as the CEO of their company, have open bank accounts, are selling product, generating profit, hiring young people. I think, in many ways, what I found most exceptional was the hustle in these young people. It's just tireless tenacity and optimism, despite huge, huge obstacles that they're facing. They're optimistic and they're committed to moving forward. And so many of them said, I don't want to be a job seeker. I want to be a job creator. And that's why I have such optimism for country of Nigeria, because they're going to be starting businesses, not only employing themselves and providing livelihoods for themselves, but employing their friends, their communities, and growing companies. I think the future is great for Nigeria. These young people are ready to go.
Let's just say that is the 9JA spirit. Chief Executive Officer, Generation Unlimited, Calvin Frey, thank you for your time on World Now.
Thank you. Good afternoon.